going on, everybody? It's your boys back again for another episode of Power Rangers Academia. Yes, we are here. We are now. We're kind of live, but you know, you guys aren't seeing us live, but it is what it is. We have a little rumor roundup. All right, so this is where these conversations are going to start getting a little bit more interesting because now we're gearing back into, or navigating ourselves back into this cosmic fury portion of these conversations now. So one of the first ones is that there's apparently going to be a 7th Ranger in Cosmic Fury. So recently there was, I guess you consider these a leaks, right?
Always a grain of salt. We should put that out there.
I wouldn't say it's like confirmed. Like I'd more say it's just kind of implied.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, right? And in these leaked images, I mean, how did these even get out? That's the first question.
So
right?
I think
it was on his Instagram.
So I believe it was Tessa's birthday.
It was Russell.
But he posted like a thing with them together, and in the background you could see these pictures. And I'm like, I guess I don't know if we're sharing those images or not, but in the background of those images, you can see what Uchi's about to explain.
Right. So basically, there's 2 photos. The first photo is of Tessa and I forget Zato's real name.
Russell,
right? Okay. So they're like, the photo is just them, like, you know, being their silly selves, but in the background it's like all these character sheets, like these design sheets of like all the Rangers, and then you can clearly visibly see like there's a few in there that have like orange based character. So one would think like, oh, are they gonna have an orange Ranger, right? Because I mean, they totally could. They could realistically, they could do whatever they want at this point, because, you know, suit wise, they're not adapting anything from Q Ranger, only Zords. That's been already confirmed. The second picture, Fern and another chick who's sitting by the Gold Ranger. I forget his name. Do you guys remember what the dude's name?
Ion.
Yeah,
well, his real name, I guess it doesn't matter, but Ion was the character.
Yeah, Ion's actor, right? He's sitting next to this other chick that we have not seen, right? So I guess what this image is trying to point out is they all have like a water bottle that is color coded and associated to everyone that's at this, you know, it looks like they're doing like a read along or something. Like they're doing like a round table.
It's one of those what is it called?
Strip reading.
Read-throughs.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So they're doing the read through, right? You see some like executive people in there, like only a couple, which the one girl actually could be one of those folks as well. However, it's a little interesting because like they point out all of the water bottles, like, you know, Izzy has the green one, Amelia got the pink one, so on and so forth, right? And Fern is in this shot. And if you don't remember who Fern was Izzy's like girlfriend, right? And it makes perfect sense if she is the 7th Ranger, because she already knows that she's Power Ranger. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So storyline wise, it checks out. It makes sense. Does this make, you know, the show better? I mean, well, I guess we'll have to find out and wait and see. But I know that when I was a kid and there was like the team was big, I always got hyped. You know what I'm saying? Like that was one of those things when I was younger. And I mean, even still now, like I remember when Q Ranger was coming out and they advertised this shit that they started with 9. I was like, I'm out. I'm like, this is OD. Like, I need this shit to start, you know? And then like by the end of it, they get like 13 or something like that. So it's freaking crazy, right? So it's almost like in the same light, they're pretty much doing that again in a way. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if it actually is Fern, just, you know, for story purpose, but it's gonna be interesting because like the first question that I'm gonna have is like, well, how soon is she gonna be introduced if it actually is her, and like when? Because like, aren't they not gonna be on Earth? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would assume that if anything, it's one of those things where when they are still on Earth, it's like, oh, I'm coming with you type of thing, you know?
Right.
Because like when they find out that their mission is in space, they might have to go say their goodbyes. But Fern is like, I'm coming with you.
Yeah.
You know,
maybe
like that's either that or she gets warped there. You know, someone, you know, like one of those like surprise teleportation things.
Yeah. Tech, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like maybe she's gonna be with them the whole time, like that. But she just becomes a ranger later. Like, yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, I felt like it was bound to happen.
Yeah,
because they have all this Zora footage, and I mean, I didn't watch Q Ranger, you guys did, but
yeah.
Not yet. I have it, but
you have not? It's great.
Yeah,
it's a fun show.
I have it on my hard drive, so I have to watch it.
Nice.
Yeah, it says 12 on this wiki. I don't know if that's how many Zoras there are, but I mean, they have all this Zora footage. It would literally be a waste if they didn't, you know, have at least a couple more Zords, or maybe, yeah. I don't know how many Zords are in the combined. But like maybe they had to have at least 7 to have the combinations. I don't know how that works, but I doubt we're gonna get, you know, the 12 or whatever it ends up being. But
yeah,
I feel like they had to do at least one more. And just in general, like it's Power Rangers, you know, you got to have an extra Ranger. You got to.
Yeah, even though they already have 6, but I mean, you know, like no one's ever gonna complain about, you know, more, because, you know, it's just exciting. You know, it is hype, and even now, you know, in my old age, right, fucking whatever, right, I still find stuff like that pretty hype to see whenever teams are big, because the thing is, like, ever since Ninja Storm, I was like, what, 3-man teams?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Like, we had 5
felt so weird
from the jump for years, and the next thing you know, they're giving us 3 to start, and I was like, okay, do they get 6 eventually? They do. I'm like, all right, so it's not that bad. And then Dino Thunder happens, and they only get 5. They don't have a 6th Ranger, but they started with 3. See, and that gives me PTSD. Every time that shit happens, I'm just like, yo. And then it happened again in freaking Beast Morphers. They did not get a 6th, and I was like, I hated it in Gold Busters too.
See, I don't mind the, you know, I don't mind it as long as it's done well, but I do like having like bigger teams. There's just something cool about it.
Exactly. It's a dynamic thing.
Yeah. And like, you know, kind of going back to what you said, I feel like they are trying to like match the Zords. And I was going to ask you, because I haven't started watching Q Ranger yet.
Yeah.
But like, how many colors do they have to account for? Because like when you look at what they have versus what they're going to have to kind of match up to, it's like there's a lot of possibilities. Because like even with Fern and the next rumor we're about to talk about, like there's some potential there. Because like I think we talked about this earlier, but Nate, he was on the set a lot. Like from Beast Morphers, and I'm like,
oh really?
Yes, Nate? like Nate, like I don't know if you guys saw this, but like,
I did not,
because I follow them on Instagram. So
I follow some of them. I don't follow
like in a lot of like basically in those last few weeks of filming, like they were hanging out with him a lot. And granted, if they were hanging out with him there while they were filming still, that meant that he went to New Zealand, meaning he's in the show somehow. Nate is in the show, but we don't know to what extent. But a lot of people are saying, like, is he going to be one of the extra teammates, you know, to fill out, or is he just going to be a cameo? But it's like, I don't know, because a lot of people are saying like they got to have the silver and gold, but they have a gold, but is this gold going to be more yellow than gold, or is Nate going to be yellow? Like, I don't know. It's weird, but there's a lot of speculation now about like, are they going to just fill out the rest of the team with former Rangers, you know, after Fern, right? And you know, the next rumor kind of leads into that, right? Because
yeah,
it's a possibility. If this is their swan song, they could just be like, hey, we're gonna have, like, instead of making new Cosmic Fury things, maybe just we got like some Beast Morpher Rangers here to fill in, and then we got, you know, the Dark Ranger,
right?
We got, you know, whoever Mick, even I don't know. Like I'm just making.
They always
stuff
use him.
They always fucking. Oh my god. They always use this fucking guy. All right, so basically, like from what because it's been years since I've watched Q Ranger, but Q Ranger basically the way it worked fundamentally was because there were so many of them, they had a roulette every episode. It was like a part of the like like they would all meet and they would literally like throw all of their Q tamas, their little globes, right, into like this randomizer, and then it would spit out 6 of them. And so whatever colors was selected, that's the team that would go and be seen for the majority and remainder of the episode, because in actuality it's like a budget thing. Like they can't afford to have all these actors, like what I'm saying, like they only had like all 13 of them when it was like the big payoff episodes or whatever, right? So like, and that was like a part of the charm and like what made it like kind of enjoyable, because Lucky, the Red Ranger, that he lived up to his name. He was always Lucky. Yo, Lucky. He would always say that because he would always get picked. Because honestly, how the fuck are you not gonna have the Red Ranger, on the squad? So that was like one of the things that was cool about Q Ranger. But that's not. I don't think that's not gonna exist here. However, you guys bring up a good point, like trying to translate it with the Zord part of things, and like I guess that does make it a little interesting. To, I guess, and this obviously leads into this next part of this rumor roundup, is that Heckle is apparently going to be a part of this show as well. So if we're gonna take that rumor and then kind of throw it in with Nate possibly being on this team or whatever, even if it is for like a one-off or whatever the case might be, there are the way the Zord worked in Q Ranger, from what I remember, is that because it was always a mix and match, a lot of it was basically just like there was basically a Zord for every color, and then no matter who was on the team, they had a different combination every time, and then of course, like with every season of Power Rangers, there's an Ultra Zord that they all fucking combine, you know what I'm saying? So I could see that happening, and I mean it would be really but the thing is, it's interesting that Cosmic Fury is it's original, but then they're also like trying to bring in whoever they can from Nickelodeon era seasons, if that's what it seems like, because you got a Beast Morpher and a Dino Charge. I'm just like, all right, like that's interesting, right? And then and that means like if they was to and then if Fern is going to be the 7th, if they're natural 7th, that means that they have 6 more spots to fill if they're gonna eventually build up to that big old Ultra Zord situation, and they want each cockpit to, I guess, have somebody from a previous team or whatever. I mean, for a shot purpose, I'm sure that'll look cool. I guess what I'm worried about is like I just don't want this to be messy.
Right, I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I don't want this to be messy. Like I don't want this to just be one of those throwaway like things. Like they're hyping this up. They seem like they're treating this with like a lot of care and caution. I don't want this to be one of those situations where it's hyped up. Like I don't here, let me rephrase. Simple as this. Ready? Everyone's gonna understand this. I don't want this to be another fucking Go-Kaiger situation. Okay? Don't want the Super Mega Force war. Don't want that shit to happen again. That shit was so hyped. And it was the biggest letdown that nobody talks about it. It is the shit that you do not speak on. You don't. Cause even Tommy, JD, rest his soul. Even that man knew it fucking flopped. After that shit aired, he did not speak on it. He knew. He was like, he's like, so Legend of the White Dragon, we're gonna start that shit, don't worry.
The worst part about it is like it's hard to revisit even, because like you know how every now and then as a fan, like sometimes you want to revisit some of the old stuff, and even revisiting legendary battles, just like,
bro, you can't.
Like
torture.
Yeah, it's hard.
Dude, let me tell you, the only time I revisited that battle is when I had to get clips for that Tommy tribute that I made, and I had to fucking watch the scene where he just walks up with everyone else and he goes, hey guys. It's like, you don't have to fight this alone. I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
nah, that's so deep.
It's so funny because when you look at his face, you can almost tell, like, holy shit. Like, he's probably thinking, like, damn, they're gonna hate this.
I'm still really offended by the fact that they used Tommy's ADR when Cam was fighting.
When who? Cam?
Cam from like Ninja Storm Green had a fight scene or whatever. But if you watch it, like even though you're seeing Ninja Storm Green, you're hearing JDF's ADR because whoever was doing it got confused and thought that it was Tommy.
I didn't know that. All right, we need to get out of here. We need to move on.
This is the next Leo wasn't it forever red.
we'll watch that one after this. But,
holy shit.
One thing I will say about the Dark Ranger thing that I think could be interesting. I mean, because you know how in the comics, it seems like they kind of picked up where that Super Dino Charge left off, right? Like with his story, about like how he was a protector of the Dark Energem or whatever. Like I'm kind of interested to see if they're gonna ignore that and just do their own thing, or if they're gonna continue that. Like that, I feel like that's the most interesting thing about him being included in this. I just have to.
Oh, okay. So like a continuation of their stories to like get a proper finish or whatever.
Or if they're gonna, I'm saying like if they're even gonna reference the comic, they're just gonna ignore it because they did continue his story in the comics.
It is part of their like master list. So I feel like there's a chance because they have like referenced or like taken certain things from the comics like JJ or that dimensional transport device, right? But there's never been like a hard reference, and I feel like having him in there definitely leads to that potential. So I guess again we'll have to wait and see, but I'm excited for it, even if he does, like I'm curious if they're gonna give them like new suits, or they're just gonna have the suits that they're supposed to have. But even so, like it would be dope just to see the Dark Ranger in live action on an American show.
Yeah, like I don't expect them to reference him as a Cosmic Ranger or anything, but
like, that
just at the very least, like I don't know.
You gotta have that suit, like it's cool.
Yeah, like that was the one thing of king-ohger that when that suit debuted, and it didn't even debut in like the main show. It was like a movie. Right? Yeah, that was a movie thing. And then they had a separate movie. I don't know if it was like, it was like one of those like specials or whatever, but it was like a king-ohger 100 years later kind of thing. And the team, like it didn't even they did not have the same lineup at all, but the Death Ryuger was a part of that, and I never seen that one. I want to watch that.
That was where like the descendant of the Red Ranger had to get there's something going on. That sounded interesting.
Yeah, it was, but my whole point is like I've always taken an interest in that suit, and I just never really seen it in action. So like I hope that, because I never finished Dino Charge or Super Dino Charge, so like I never got to see it through. Matter of fact, I seen more of this dude in the comics than I have in his own show. You know what I'm saying? Like they had the whole Beyond the Grid. Right? Or was that what it was called?
Yeah, it was Beyond the Grid, yeah.
Yeah, he was a part of that team. I remember that. He was on one of the covers too. I remember that too. So yeah, I mean,
he's a fan favorite for sure.
Yeah,
Post Neo 7 stuff.
Yeah, like I'm all for whatever as long as it makes sense. That is always gonna be my thing, especially with Power Rangers. As long as they can make it make sense, I'm cool. I don't care.
Yeah. I feel like for me, like if anything, like I'm just happy that it seems like they're going for it a little. But I guess if anything, my concern is just about like this 10 episode season, or like these episodes.
Right.
I don't know, but something tells me they're still gonna be 22 to 30-minute episodes. So it's like, is this are they gonna be able to do? I mean, I'm hoping they're longer, but I don't put it like so. For my brain is telling me that they're still going to be shorter episodes. but just without the filler now. But you know, so they can still get the pacing right. It's not like we haven't seen 22-minute episodes with a lot of good story in it, but like it's kind of just goes back to what Uchi was saying. Like it has to make sense and feel right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still on the. I mean, I think it's cool, but I have to see more to really feel any type of way about it. Personally, they're good choices though. Well, never mind. Nate isn't a good choice. But
not a lie was said.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what comes of it.
Yeah, same. That's gonna be it for this here Power Rangers Academia. Make sure you guys are hitting up our links to support us all, and make sure you're leaving us a comment on what we talked about, and let us know your thoughts on everything here. And as always, make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. May the power protect you. Keep it locked loaded right here on this channel. Stay safe, stay clean, and stay inside, and we'll see y'all next time.